morning, good afternoon, and good evening for whatever time you're watching this video. Welcome back to my channel. So I know that usually when I come on here and I'm talking about social work and things like of that nature, that I'm close. But today I am in the middle of getting ready for brunch. This is a part of my self-care. It's going out, having, time with family and friends and just talking with the girls and like letting my hair down a little bit. That's a part of my self-care for getting through the anxiety of the week. So I am going to be getting ready. I got a tight hour. I'm taking the time to record this video because I wanted to get my thoughts out, closer to the beginning of when I starting in my career. Like, I want to make sure I'm documenting my thoughts and my journey and all of that stuff. This is like the most multitasking that I have to do because I'll have to think like, what do I need? And then, anyway. Okay, so I have been working as a counselor for about 3 months now. And I like what I do. I knew that, because to be honest, when I started looking for a job, I was like recognizing that I'm more of an introvert, and interacting with people is more draining than it is energizing. So I was kind of like, okay, are you sure this is what you want to do? Like, obviously I've already gotten the master's degree for it, so I'm kind of stuck. I have to do this. But then again, I don't, because it's my choice, my career. Okay, so I had some hesitation about applying for counseling jobs. But I went ahead and went forward with it because I knew, like, as long as I get to work in child welfare in some, form or capacity, I just knew, like, that I would be good. I would be good for the most part, So I'm glad that I was able to find a job. I didn't, compromise on that because there's plenty of positions in, substances and, working with the homeless population, working with veterans, that kind of thing. So I'm glad that I stuck with that, because on the times when it is hard and then when it is difficult, I'm sorry, my dog is sneezing. I'm glad that I went ahead and I stuck with, I made that a priority. I knew which population would help me get through the hard times. I think I got my first case, if I'm not mistaken, I got my first case about 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks into working at the company. And ever since then, I still don't have a full caseload. I believe a full caseload is considered 12 to 14 cases. So I still don't have a full caseload. But I'm slowly but surely climbing up there, and I really appreciate that my supervisor is doing it this way, because it's not all at once, and I'm getting more and more experience. So by the time, and getting more of a rhythm and a routine with my clients, so by the time that I do get to a full caseload, it won't feel so heavy. It won't feel so like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. So I'm grateful for that. And I just want to give a quick little disclaimer. Like, I just wear makeup. I play in makeup. I'm not a professional. I'm not a guru. So if I'm doing something wrong, then I'm doing something wrong. And hopefully that doesn't upset anybody too much. So for the most part, everything has been going good. And a lot of kind of what I'm finding out is that the program that I was in, like, to get my master's, I feel like they mostly taught us about how to think like a social worker, but not really how to, not the techniques and things that we need to do day to day with the clients. Which, I mean, I don't know. I just wonder if all fields are like this. I don't know, but it's more so of that, the educational part of the theoretical information and the knowledge. It's not like, okay, so in your first client session, these are things that you should be doing X, Y, and Z. So I found that a little bit hard to get over because I'm just like, I had a little freak out. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I don't like that, when I'm working with people, I want to be able to feel confident. I want to be able to, make sure I'm not doing something that I'm not supposed to. And my supervisor just had to tell me, like, you can hurt or you can help, but you can't change. And so, like, as long as I'm providing the information, as long as, I'm being a listening ear, as long as I am, not telling people to, harm themselves, then I'm helping. I'm helping. It was like kind of, after a couple of weeks of working, I'm like, okay, well, now you gotta come up with at least a plan to do with clients. And that's when I started freaking out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really don't know what I'm doing. Like, oh my gosh, I was just being really hard on myself and having doubts about being in the field. I'm like, okay, is this right for me? I just, I don't know. So having that talk with my supervisor, she's really been very supportive, and she's just like, okay, if you need to meet more often to talk about your cases, we can do that, which is great. She didn't make me feel bad about needing that reassurance or that guidance. So I feel really grateful. So I want to talk about my anxiety because that was a issue for a bit. When I kind of started realizing, like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing, and I feel like I'm not really being helpful. I kind of, started to have a lot of anxiety, and I didn't want to do my home visits. So there was like, I think at least 2 weeks where I could say I was just like, oh my gosh, struggling to do my home visits. And I was like, okay, listen, we can't keep on this path. Like, what can we do to get over this? I'm a we. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm like, what can I do to get over this hurdle? Because this is our job, right? So one of the things I recognize is that I haven't been working out as much as when I was at the beginning. And I think working out really helps me get rid of a lot of that nervous energy of the day. I kind of started doing it again, but not necessarily. What I more so have been doing is making sure to do more self-care, do more things that kind of relax me. And if I need to take it easy at the end of the night, then I will, versus like working on the several things that I'm working on at one time. So that's been helpful, but also to just understanding, this is a part of the learning process. You are going to have to, learn how to do the therapy. And then reminding myself that I can just make it a conversation, because I think one of my points too that I kept getting stuck on was like, okay, well, we have this evidence-based practice, and I don't know all the information. Like, I did go to the training, it was 3 days, but I felt like I didn't take a lot out of the training. Before I go to my home visits, I write down my points that I want to talk about, and if I don't, if I don't get to everything, if I don't, hit every point, if I don't say it exactly how the book lists it, then I just don't freak out as much. I just give myself that grace to be like, okay, just have a conversation. It doesn't have to be so I don't even know, because to be honest, I don't even know what I was thinking in my head, how I thought it should be. I just felt like whatever it was, I wasn't doing it, and that was kind of making me feel a little bit more unsure about everything. So yeah, so a lot of work that I've been doing has just been like in my head, and I think I'm to a place in my life where I am pretty self-aware. I can recognize, sometimes it takes a little minute, and then I'm like, okay, why am I feeling like crap? Why do I feel like just worn down? And I can, assess, I feel like I'm better at assessing what's going on for myself and what I need. And that, I think that goes a long way when you're first starting out. Overall, the process has been going pretty well. There's been some ups and downs as far as struggles go, as far as, internal things, just a part of the uncomfortableness with the learning process. I'm not the expert just yet in this field and role. It helps that I have a lot of knowledge already about case management, about child welfare. So that is really helpful. So, at least in that capacity, I'm very confident when I'm answering clients' questions about that. But I'm liking what I'm doing. I'm enjoying working with this population. And although I was having my doubts, I know that I'm going to continue. I got my master's for a reason. I'm going to utilize this degree. I have student loans. I better utilize it. And, I really do want to get my LCSW. So many letters. And it just popped in my head. I did actually register to be an intern. I put in all my paperwork. I haven't heard back yet because I literally just did it a couple of days ago. Wednesday, actually. And today is Sunday. So I did all that stuff, and I was so excited. I did take some pictures and stuff because I'm like, oh my gosh, one step closer. So my takeaway for this video is just to continue to push towards your dreams and your aspirations despite feeling uncomfortable, despite feeling like, okay, I really don't got it together. Just push past that part and keep focusing on your dream to get to where you want to be, because it's not going to be easy. It's not going to feel comfortable. It's not going to be maybe what you thought of and what you expected, and that's okay. As long as like, okay, but this is what I want to do, or, I can see myself on the other side. I know that I'm capable to, accomplish the things that I want to accomplish. And I wholeheartedly see myself being a part of this field, being like, that expert level in this field. Even if I'm not a counselor, I can see myself, being a program director or being a clinical director or some sort of that capacity, to help the next generation or something like that. I can see myself doing that, and I'm like, okay, in order to do that, I got to get past this part. And so, you just have to stick with it. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on, the things that you want to see for your life. And hopefully you found this video to be encouraging and helpful in some capacity, just getting that view and perspective of someone who is, right out of the graduate program, master's level social work graduate program. What are my beginning stages of, being in this career? And hopefully that it just gives you some insight. As always, if you have any comments, questions, or critiques, please leave them down below in the description box, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.